Good afternoon and welcome to Namibia Media Holdings 11th update. That is our updating broadcast, of course, since COVID-19 has been confirmed in our country. This afternoon with me is Jemima Bekes, senior journalist at Namibian Sun. Hi and welcome, Jemima.
Thank you for having me, Danny.
Still to come, just to summarize for you shortly, we again going to show you some scenes from the region. We're going to cross to Rundu this time around via Skype. We spoke to one of our journalists also regarding the whole issue whether you should let yourself be tested for COVID-19 or not. And right at the end, after sharing some positive images in these times, we play you an independence message to Namibia by our former Miss Universe here from Namibia, Michelle Mclean-Bailey. So a lot to look forward to. In the latest news, very quickly, Air Namibia cancelled various flights to South Africa today. Jemima, they are saying it's because of the current travelling restrictions and also the fact that there's very few passengers actually flying at the moment. Also, South Africa now has more than 400 confirmed cases. They are expecting a very important announcement later today, this evening probably, by President Cyril Ramaphosa, which might of course impact the Namibia, and a lot of criticism around the quarantine center at Greiters in Brakwater outside Windhoek. And I've been informed this afternoon that there's a team of about 20 workers that is now there busy to do some basic renovations to get it in a better place. As a journalist, you know, was it proper to just on such short notice put people which is already in an uncomfortable situation in a place that is to not mince words, or let's rather use a nice word, dilapidated?
Dania, I've been to Greiters in the past, and my experience was not that of a well-managed place. It was definitely, well, at that time it was not dilapidated. It was not well-maintained though. But the pictures that we've seen all over social media, I think it's important that we don't jump to conclusions when we see these things. We've had the pictures showing the dilapidated state of the Greiters Lodge, and then at the same time we have pictures showing people posting pictures on Twitter, in particularly, to show how it is properly taken care of, and that people are receiving their food, and that things are done in an organized way. But if it is true, because I could not verify for myself because of the quarantine situation, I mean, I would have obviously as a journalist wanted to go and see for myself, but I think if it is true that that place is in that condition or was in that condition, then it raises serious questions about the government's preparedness, because you should have prepared yourself for something like this. What were they preparing?
I think the problem is this venue hasn't been used for some time, as far as we're informed. And I mean, before we move on, I also think to people who must now eat healthy, to give them one Vienna and a sandwich for breakfast. That's debatable. Let us know what you think. We're quickly looking, as usual, against at the latest map by the World Health Organization showing the international data. Now 186 countries affected. And then we're switching to our local testing data as it stands at the moment. Now, something new there, not confirmed by ourselves yet, still 3 confirmed cases, 22 negative results, but apparently it was confirmed today that the Romanian couple who was originally the first to be tested positive has recovered from their symptoms and are doing well. And of course, we still don't have an exact number on how many results are still pending. Jemima, talking about travel again, a lot of people have headaches with traveling. Later in today's show, we're going to come to the issue of some other borders, but just to display again this infographic is just a revised version of the one we posted yesterday on all our social media to inform people. So it's very important still, if you are a Namibian citizen, a permanent resident, or you are domiciled in our country, of course, yes, you can return. If you're not one of those, you cannot enter Namibia basically, unless there's very special reasons. And the situation now, if you come from a country that's affected, you will be asked to self-isolate for 14 days. If you come from a high-risk country, like happened with the flight done by KLM, you will most probably be quarantined. We are expecting another flight later this week, so those people will probably go also to Gruyters. And then just to flash back to our image there, showing that, yes, but of course there's a couple of countries actually where there's no COVID-19, so if you're actually a Namibian coming from one of those, you will probably, unless if you stopped in other countries on the way, they might tell you to self-isolate in any case. Then looking at departing from Namibia, in the next one, leaving Namibia, just to summarize it, you must have a very, very special reason to travel to South Africa, and you need special permission from the Ministry of Home Affairs and Immigration, probably lots of times for medical reasons, so that is with prior approval only. And of course, if you are not a Namibian resident, there's a lot of differing circumstances whether you can return to your country of birth or not. But at least the arrangement is the flying borders with South Africa is open, so you can fly to South Africa and then fly back to where other in the world you want. You had a question.
I think it's important that Rwanda has instituted a number of measures, including inland travel. So you are not allowed to travel willy-nilly around the country to whichever reason. And I think if Namibians take this seriously, we should take it upon ourselves. If you don't know who the people what the people that you have been exposed to have been exposed to, then I think it's important that you yourself take these necessary measures. Don't just travel because you want to. And I've seen, even after the cases of the Romanian couple was announced, malls are crowded still. Grove has been crowded most of the time. Even the bars in Windhoek are crowded. People just do not take this seriously. So I think it is really important that we do not just think of foreign travels, but even inland, because we don't know who the people are that were exposed. We don't know whether they may be confirmed, or people infected who were not confirmed yet or tested yet.
Yes, but we must also not spread fear. If you are watching now, do you agree with Yemima or not? Should we also consider traveling less in our country? Another thing is our tourism industry has been hit extremely hard, and they are also requesting Namibians to assist them through this difficult time. That's why you see a lot of large discounts for local tourists. Up next, we're quickly going to visit the regions, and before we play you these clips, you will see scenes from Ochu, Windhoek here, a mall in Windhoek. Also from Korigas, once again, a message from the police in the Orongo region. A teacher speaking at the Andimba Toivo Secondary School in Ondangwa regarding education. And then also Esther Kamati yesterday visited the village at Omupunda, and we have a message from there. Let's take a look.
My advice to the learners, not only our learners in our school, but learners in the whole country, that they should not use this time they should not use this spare time for irrelevant, activities. So they must engage in themselves books, they must read, and they should be in contact with, with their teachers. Like we do here, some of our learners We have already created a link between some of the teachers and the learners, especially those ones in grade 11 and grade 12 who are going to write the final examination, so that they'll be guided on what to read and what to cover during the examination. So I'm saying, dear learners, so the future is there waiting for you. So it's not time to play. So it's time, for you to be dedicated. So be disciplined when you are at home. Yeah, be at home. If you have internet, then you are very fortunate. So go and Google information regarding the examination. Papers are there. So study very hard. So there will be no time, because once you come, because we don't know.
Sorop di una mayana nganara kai Siagim omna am gujening fan inda gaw oingan aiba omanira tichang uige nya koingan ores na sirang ngoy na kuinang aibrao udaging omnang am gujening kidole chakudagan wasnang am gujening
We are aware, as we were advised that the masks are not that much necessary. But to us, it's very important, especially to those that are participating in operations, day-to-day operations.
Yes.
And the physical confrontations with members of the public.
Yes.
When you find a person committing a serious crime or maybe fighting, you ought to stop that person. You ought to hold that person's body. You ought to come closer to that person.
Yes.
The person may resist in that process. We really see it necessary, especially to have our officers' faces covered to protect themselves. The concern we have is at the drinking places. We have already spoken to the shebins and bar owners, and we have directed the station commanders to go and sensitize our communities. Corona did not come to divide us, but it came to unite us, to realize that when we work together, we can achieve a common purpose.
Very true.
This is why we say we are going to desensitize the shebin committees physical to make sure that the people at the drinking places are taken care of.
Yes.
The churches, we applaud them. They have done a great job. Some of them said they are going to close, especially church services under confinement.
Yes.
And the authorities have spoken to them. Unfortunately, there was no communication to say the shebins and bars must be closed because people choose to go there.
Yes.
And we look at the distance between the people, especially the drinking places. When we go there, we find a person, each is holding his bottle, the neck of his bottle, That makes us to say, when you go to the drinking place, exercise precautions.
Yes.
The owner of the drinking places, make sure that the safety of your customers, the safety of the people that are working for you is a priority.
So vandag gesels ek bietjie met Gerlinde Giel. Sy is die supervisor hier by die Kowati Lodge op Korrigas. So sê bietjie vir my mevrou Giel, hoe gaan dinge op hierdie stadium hier by julle in terme van die COVID-19? Wat het dit aan besigheid gedoen by die lodge?
Ook ons het baie teller gesteel oor hierdie besigheid. Van hierdie maand af tot November maand toe, ons was baie vol geboek. Nou die laaste groep wat ons gehad het, dit was Woensdag laas week gewees, dit was 33 gaste. Van daar af het ons nie meer gaste nie. Maar ons probeer om ons die beste te doen. Elke oggend kom maar 3 mense in en die ander 2 mense, om net iets te kry. Want daar is nog mense wat in ook Namibia is, dan kry jy daar maar iets in. As die mense nie kom nie, dan sal ons ook in onze salarisse kry. Want as jy nog sonder werk is, dan kry jy niks by die mense af. Van onze salaris kom net van toeriste af, wat inkom van in Namibia is, dan sal nou voel ons baie sleg oor die goed wat hier so is.
Jonga peteri na area, jatsaikana wambibu. Oandizi monkunda omapundo, watate kuru Johanesa naruno. Ondina omvura 35 ondafika mapotepo pikombuto shinasha nonkithi go CoronaVirus ngono guli Wapatitha ngashingeyi oosikola omalongo guunona ogashuna konima shaashi omolwa omangundumano. Opo nee tukalekepo okorona ndjino tuyitale kutya atuyikondjitha ngiini, uuyogoki owapumbiwa. Uuna ndjono walongitha okandjugo yoga oonyala dhoye pamwe tatu kala ngaa tulyenihwepo. Konima nee kutya takupopiwa kutya nande ukale unoka okayima kokwiikavalinga nenge omanyala shono kashine kwathelo oshinekwa unene kwangu akwatwa oya pumbwa okulongitha iinima yafampo. Shasimana oko kutyala tusimane kiipuyogo kitukale kipo natuweni koongolo tugalikaneni tate Kalunga pamwe tuuvyu magalikano getu. Aholike tushitali kwala shili palandu shikale ngaashi shino okukala ondahulila mpo.
Jemima, just the lady there at Omopondo, part of her message is to people, you don't need a mask. Masks are actually for people who are sick and who may spread the virus, and the rest of us, we should just follow strictly the 4 other hygienic tips. I really loved also the boy washing his hands in Ochu, driving home that message. And from Rundu region, the police spoke again about the whole issue of shebeens. And we got a Facebook comment on this broadcast about someone saying the church is closed but not the bar. En Afrikaans sê ons die kerk en die bar sit langs mekaar. That continues to be a topic.
Yes, I'm going to speak to 2 of them. Firstly, the mask. I think people need to take social distancing very seriously. I've seen one of the interviews, the CoronaVirus interview. We need to have at least a 1 meter or more distance between each other. I have in my during these few days seen for myself how easily someone else's spit can jump onto you, and that already puts you at a great risk because you don't know the people that you are dealing with, you don't know where they have been. In terms of masks, I've seen so many people walking around with masks, and when you ask them, they do not have the facts. So I think, and I think it's good that we are now starting with the translations, because most people are depending on hearsay, someone coming with their own myths, which are mainly with their own information, which is mainly myths, and so people believe these things. We've had people running around after the first cases were reported with masks because they think this is how it must be done.
Also it's not to belittle people. That's very important. Obviously it's your choice to wear a mask, and so don't look funny at people wearing a mask. It's still your personal choice. We have to stick to the time here on the bars, the shebeens.
The bars and the shebeens. Some churches have instituted their own measures. The Methodist Church in Rundu they are starting with worship services. On Sunday they had a WhatsApp. No, it was a Facebook sermon where they shared the sermon that would have been delivered on that particular Sunday in the church, in a full church. And yes, like I've said before, some people do not really. You see, the bars are full. These people, and you do not see social distancing adhered to. You do not see people. I've been to one of these bars on Friday evening, and people are just moving about, up and down.
So I think the message is also there from the police. The owners of shebeens and bars and restaurants must make proper arrangements. One of the messages is also don't share drinking utensils when you're drinking tombo or whatever, but it's also up to you. If you go to such a place, you must protect yourself by following the basic tips. We have to move on unfortunately.
One thing that really concerns me, the hookah pipe. I've seen it at these bars. You see a pipe, and and we know how it is. I don't know if you know, but most young people know how the hookah pipe is used. That is very concerning, and I think some of the bars really need to take action when it comes to.
If you take a drag, you must probably clean it properly with a disinfectant if you want to do so. Up next is a scenes from Rundu, and then we are going to Skype with Kenya Kambawe in Rundu.
Corona is something that we grow up knowing in the first place. It's something that just came, which is new. So I think it's up to the government, as the people on the ground, to do more on communicating, to simplify it, for people to know and understand it very well as to what is Corona, how to prevent it, and all this kind of thing. Secondly, I'd not go to all the shops to know either they have all the sensitizers and all this kind of thing. But otherwise, I know this is the attitude of business. As we speak right now, the people who are busy supplying sanitizers, I'm very sure that they are supplying it they are meeting the demand. But the problem here is that not everybody can afford it. Not everybody can afford it. Now, coming to maybe what the government put in place, I think the government can be able to, to also play that role. Actually, government, is the custodian of health, to ensure that everybody in the country's health is protected. So, if they can supply, especially the rural area, our health. Inspectors, if they can go out there, talk to the people, supply them, protect them. On the issue of people not gathering, it's actually a good measure that they put in place, but it's not enough. So let's look at the cashiers who are receiving money, who are at the point of contact with people from morning to afternoon. So they're still at risk of getting the disease.
As you can see, the border is closed. This is the Sarasungu border post, bordering Namibia from Angola. The border has been closed. No entry, no vehicle, no persons allowed to come in or go out of Namibia through this border. According to the officials here on site, roughly over 100 people used to cross here on a daily basis. On the other side, on the other end, you can see the Angolan border, which is also closed. The officials are also not allowed to attempt to communicate close.
Man, die een ding wat ek jou wil sê is, ek is die kampbestuurder hier by Papa Falls, en wat ek ervaar is dat 'n klomp mense trapped is binne in Namibië en 'n klomp buite Namibië. So die wat moes kom, wat geboek het, kan nie kom nie. Hy kan nie 'n vlug kry nie, of mag hy die land inkom nie. En die wat binne die land is, kan ook nie huis toe gaan nie. So dit speel bietjie te mekaar af. Minder mense wat natuurlik nou getrap is, klomp kon uitkom en dit vroeg gegaan toe hulle hoor van die nonsens. Maar baie mense kom na my toe en dan van hier af laat ons hulle deur Zambië tot in Falls gaan om vlugte te kry. Daar's 'n definitiewe invloed. Ons kry definitief almal pak slaag. Van my bure begin toemaak. Hulle maak letterlik nou vir die volgende maand die hekke vandag toe. En al die werkers is huis toe, dit het 'n geweldige impak op ons community. Wat ons nou maar hier doen is om natuurlik die normale voorskriftelike gesondheid, die handewassery en higiëne aan te hanteer. Ons staf het nou storte gekry en kan lekker kom bad en klere was hierso met die lopende water in die kamp, sodat ons vir hulle ook lekker skoon en gesond hou.
Okay, baie dankie meneer.
We are now crossing via Skype once again to Kenya Kambawe. He's the Namibian's Sun journalist stationed in Rundu. Good afternoon, Kenya.
Good afternoon, Daniel. How are you?
We are well here in Windhoek. We hope you are safe as well. What is the latest? It's about a week ago since we spoke to you. Has things in Rundu changed substantially in the meantime or not?
No, basically, if I have to start off, I will just start off about awareness what COVID-19 is in Rundu. What I picked up is that people are aware what COVID-19 is. But the problem is just that I'm just afraid of those locals who are in the poor informal settlement. They are not well informed about what coronavirus is, because all the leaflets that we see and all the documents we see about COVID-19 or on the internet, or how can I put it, hard copy, they are all in English. So basically, there's a need for the information to be translated into the local languages.
That is something we're working on here at NMH as well, of course. So Wednesday already, we're planning a multilingual insert in our newspapers. Yemima, any question from your side to Kenya?
Dani, I think it would be interesting to know how they are handling the movement between Angola and Rundu. We know obviously there's very close proximity between the two communities. So it would be nice to know if Kenya has picked up something in terms of that.
Okay, in fact, Jamamba, this morning I traveled to the Sarasungu border post, the one just near in Rundu, bordering Rundu from Angola, and the border is totally closed. Like the Angolan government put out, they say that all their borders are closed. But the challenge is now to say that we have a porous border, whereby the river is the border between Namibia and Angola. So if you have a canoe or if we have a boat, you can just simply cross over. And knowing that trading in Rundu hasn't stopped, the open markets are still flooded with Angolan vendors as well as Namibian street vendors. It means that I've also picked up like rumors that there are some ungazetted entry points between the two countries, whereby locals either from Namibia or Angola, they're using their canoes and boats to travel to cross over to Namibia. And 30 minutes ago, I spoke to the Minister of Home Affairs and Immigration, Honorable Franz Kapofi, and I put these questions to him to say that why are our officials allowing locals to cross over to these ungazetted entry points, and then he put it to me to say that all entry points into Namibia or to Angola should be closed, because Angola is the one that said that their borders will be closed. They should be the ones looking out to make sure that nobody cross over into Namibia or cross over into Angola. They should be the ones to make sure of that. But if I can just maybe read to you what is direct quote, what he told me is that whatever, and before I go to what he said, I also put it to him that there's an existing agreement between Angola and Namibia, whereby residents 10 kilometers on the other side and 10 kilometers this side, they don't need to frequently ask for visas. They just go into the country by any point of entry in the next country. But when I put to him, he told me that no, although those agreements exist, all those agreements come to a standstill because of this COVID-19 and the closure of the Angolan border. And this is what he had to say. Whatever agreement there is, the border is supposed to be closed. Not just the border post. It is the whole border. We are not supposed to go into Angola and come out of Angola. Now, if people are coming out like that, it is not because of that agreement, but because of their unwillingness to listen to the authorities.
Sorry to interrupt you. The time is limited, but I just wanted to know, yes, the borders with Angola has been closed since last week, late actually already. Thank you for that clip also showing it is closed at Sarasungu. Were you able to get any information from Zambezi region regarding our borders with Zambia and Zimbabwe on that side?
Yes, indeed, I got. I spoke to the Zambezi Regional Police Commander, Mr. Karel Teron, just after lunch, and he explained to me to say that the Ngoma border, the Ngoma border, which borders Namibia and Angola, has been closed. Namibia and Botswana has been closed as well, but the one between Katima Mulilo and Zambia is still open, which means the truck drivers or residents from Angola, from Botswana or Namibia can still use that border to travel in and out. But the only concern which I also picked up is to say that these people, the only what's happening there is no one is being quarantined when they come into Namibia. They are only screened, and if their temperature is not, if their temperature is low, like it's normal, they are allowed to come in. But we know that there's the 14-day incubation period of this coronavirus. It means that someone might come in with a truck into Namibia with the corona, but while it's still in incubation, and then it can be a threat to our society. So I put it to Mr. Theron, like I said, that no, there's nothing that they can do for now. Our borders between Namibia and Zambia, as well as the ones between Namibia and Botswana, are still open.
Thank you very much. That was Kenya from Bowe, our journalist in Rundu. Yemima, just interesting for me today as well. It was part of an interview he sent to us here in Windhoek, which I didn't actually use, but it struck me the whole issue about myths, because there was someone was saying that this virus is airborne and it's somehow floating over the borders, which is of course not true. You can actually get it when you cough on someone and through bodily fluids and stuff, but it's not airborne. So how do you agree it's very important to also bust all these myths going around?
Dania, I absolutely agree with you. What is most concerning is that people in influential positions on social media, they don't take these kind of things into account, because most people look at them for advice. I mean, if I am a governor and I say people must walk in the sun because it's going to burn the virus, then my entire region will believe that it is true. And we see so many of these things happening. And I would really want people to really think twice before they even share any video clip, any WhatsApp message or anything. And if you're a journalist, I obviously think you have access to the health minister or any other authority to verify and confirm these kind of information.
Beware what you share, and that goes with social media as well. Up next, a lot of people have questions also about the whole issue of testing for COVID-19. We are still looking for studio guests in this regard. A short while ago, we recorded this interview on the topic with one of our journalists. A topic on COVID-19 which a lot of people are asking questions about is the whole issue of testing. With me today is Henriette Lamprecht. She's a chief journalist at Republican newspaper, focusing on medical and health issues. Hello, Henriette.
Hello, Dani.
What is the decisions that private medical aid funds took regarding COVID-19 testing?
At this stage, it's a blanket. There's like blanket statements. Nobody really knows what to do. So each to its own. At this stage, the people that I've spoken to, it's a few, like 4 medical aid funds, they stated that they will pay for the test, provided that it's part of your day-to-day benefits. That now includes your test, as well as consultation with a doctor, as well as hospitalization. There are, however, also a medical aid fund, Namibia Medical Care, which now decided that you have to pay for it out of your own pocket. If you do test positive, then you can refund it. They will refund you. If not, then it's to you. You have to pay it yourself.
A lot of people out there, I think, are under the impression that we should all go for tests, but that is actually not the correct information, because it doesn't help to test people who are healthy, for example, and it can also lead to extra overload on available equipment and staff, etc. What does the WHO prescribe in terms of testing?
Just to come back to the burden part, we must remember we've got a limited amount of tests available. So the WHO, the World Health Organization, has set in place protocol. This states 4 people that needs to be tested. So the first thing they will ask you is your travel history. Did you travel to high-risk countries? So first they want to know, did you stay at home when you started feeling ill, or did you travel? Then secondly, obviously, if you were in contact with somebody that tested positive for COVID-19, or then you came in contact in a group or somewhere that's from somebody that tested positive. The main thing is, as you rightly said, we've got limited tests available, and you can't test everybody. It just can't be done.
Yes, so it's important also that people who are healthy and are experiencing absolutely no flu symptoms must stay calm and don't think I must get tested, I might have it, because the virus is in any case in incubation for a period up to 14 days actually. So you will test negative, you will have to pay for it, and when you come back, maybe if you have symptoms, you'll have to be tested once again. What is the position of the Namibia Association of Medical Aid Funds?
Yeah, NAMAF is the umbrella organization. So basically they need to, they must speak for all of these private medical aid funds, which at this stage has not happened. I spoke to somebody, quite a few people at NAMAF, and they said they are waiting for a SOP, standard operating procedure, from the Ministry of Health, how to deal with COVID-19 patients. But now already we have 3. So as I said, at this stage, each medical aid fund has now decided on its own how to proceed with these cases.
President Hage Geingob said in his independence speech that there will be an economic plan as well to address the impact of COVID-19. But I mean, this health plan actually would probably fall in the budget coming the end of March, being tabled in Parliament, because the ministry will have to budget probably for testing.
Yeah, we need money. Just a last thing that I want to mention. According to the Public and Environmental Health Fund, the moment a disease is declared a pandemic, it's all for the state's account. But now we all know public health care in Namibia won't be able to handle this whole thing on their own. So it's very important that the private sector, i.e. now the medical aid funds as well as the hospitals, take hands with the ministry, even if it's been declared a pandemic.
Thank you very much, Henriette. We will keep you up to date with the issues regarding testing. We have also invited representatives of medical aid funds and NAMAF to come and speak to our audience in studio. So hopefully later this week we will have them in for an interview. There is still unclarity about a lot of issues and arrangements, and hopefully in the coming days and weeks we will get that as Namibians from the various authorities. Thank you for everyone that is watching and commenting. I also acknowledge Michaela Hübschler for a positive comment on the way we are informing people. We display our number now for you, so if you've got issues you want us to clarify or address, you can use WhatsApp, and the number is of course in Namibia with the relevant code 0811 7010 0811 7010. It'll come up shortly. But Jemima, since yesterday we decided we're going to just spend at least a minute or so to be positive, because when people are in difficult times, it's important to focus on the positive. What do you do to stay positive?
Sure. Well, obviously we're all prone to panic. So I just read. I just make time whenever I start feeling I'm a little afraid of what I'm seeing around me. Then I just go and read. And facts are very important because it makes you realize this virus can be overcome. We can fight it, and there are things that we can do to protect ourselves.
Yes, so any questions and queries, use that contact number of ours, please. And also, if you want to share something positive, we're going to look at two positives quickly. First of all, our two journalists in Corregas filmed the rain while they were traveling back to Ochu yesterday. And of course, yesterday afternoon, also this one sluice of the Van Bach Dam was opened once again, and that video was taken by Elvira Hata. Enjoy. Lovely scenes, Yemima. We as Namibians just love rain.
We absolutely love rain. It completely turns our day around. From
Yes.
there to absolutely wonderful.
Share your positive moments as well. We're going to play out with a Facebook message that Michelle Mclean-Bailey, that is of course a previous Miss Namibia and also Namibia's only Miss Universe ever, posted on Independence Day on the 21st of March. We decided to share it with you. You might not have seen it, and there's a very positive message not only about Namibia and our 30 years of independence, but also about COVID-19. We will play out with that. Remember, keep safe, follow the 4 hygiene tips. Don't spread COVID-19 or any other virus, and also don't spread fear.
Happy 30th Independence Day, Namibia. Wow, what an incredible milestone. We should be so proud of ourselves as a nation and everything that we've achieved over the last 30 years. Now more than ever, we need to stand together as a nation, especially with how the world is changing. The coronavirus scare has created disruption in everybody's life. So I appeal to you as the Namibian people to really reach out to your loved ones, to the communities, and to make sure that we support each other in the best way we can. Please adhere to the regulations that the government has given us. These are regulations to keep us safe and to keep our loved ones safe. Please practice social distancing. It's so important. Make sure that you keep washing your hands as many times a day and sanitize when you're touching food or anything else that you do. Please adhere to these regulations. It's most important for the health and safety of our community and our loved ones. Besides that, it's important to celebrate, and we can each celebrate all the achievements that we have had in Namibia over the last few years. It goes without saying that hard times are very difficult. We need to get through this, be together. This too will pass, and in a few months' time, I hope that we will be able to resurrect our tourism industry, our economy, to a buoyant place. I'm in America at the moment. I'm hoping to come home as soon as possible, but my flights have been cancelled. So I'm devastated I can't come back home in the next few weeks. But I have a company here, Africa's Finest Safaris, and through my ambassadorial work as your global ambassador for Namibia, I continue to promote Namibia, its tourism as a destination, the lodges, and to make sure that travelers will come and visit us in the future, in the next few months, as soon as possible. So please know that I'm doing everything I can from my side to support Namibia and make sure that people come back to Namibia and visit very, very soon. Just make sure, everybody, that you're safe and healthy, and I appeal to the youth. Although you feel healthy and you feel that you're not going to get the coronavirus, you may be carrying it without even knowing that you're sick and passing it on to somebody else. So please, even as a young person, practice social distancing and make sure that you adhere to the regulations. This is for the safety of our community and our loved ones. I love you all. Have a wonderful celebration. I'll be celebrating here in America. Unfortunately, not with my family and all of you, but I send my love to Namibia, and happy birthday.